implanted in us. We shouldn't even. This is literally
everything.
But it's like so elementary, you know. Like this, if we were already learning this, then everything else that was advanced would be unbelievable.
Oh my god, I couldn't even imagine where society would be. Like what the type of shit that we'd actually be on.
If we'd be even here.
Huh.
We can now both see and hear the flower of life pattern that has intrigued humankind for thousands of years. So now we have two-dimensional geometry, three-dimensional geometry, and even sacred geometry being represented by different variations of an F-sharp major chord. How is this not common knowledge? How have we... There are actually three explanations. One, for reasons ranging from the mundane to the conspiratorial, musical instruments are no longer tuned to an A vibrating at 432 cycles per second, but rather 440. Two, modern tuning calls for equal temperament, which no longer adheres to Pythagoras' whole number simplicity. And three, the tuning method required to reveal geometric shapes is based on a mathematical grid rather than mathematical ratios. This grid, if it had a name, would probably be called something like factor 9, because the number 9 is found not only in the sum of every note on the grid, but also as the number required to move up or down the scale. For instance, if we started at note A at 216 cycles, all we would have to do is add or subtract the number 9 to reveal all the other tones in that octave. And it is here, on this incredible factor 9 grid, that we find not just some of our geometric numbers, but all of them. Conversely, modern A440 tuning reveals not one correlation to geometric numbers. Now let's go back for a moment and take a look at one of these numbers, 2160. The number expressed by...
So maybe that has something to do with why it's so disharmonic, because like if we're talking about how everything's connected and like music is connected to geometry, connected to like the universe and the way that science works and all that, if you just switch the music over to now it's not
literally a slight decimal, yeah, it'll throw
everything off balance.
Even like we said, exponentially, you know. So like you said, from like even we'll go at atomic level to cellular level to biology, you know, like to us, to the earth, you know, and if you're expanding it to that much, and it's always getting off, more off, and more off, and more off, and more off.
Sad, man. I'm gonna shed a tear for the earth.
As the precession of the equinox.
Precession.
Of a very slow wobble of Earth's axis. Somehow aware of the fact that this wobble takes 25,920 years to complete.
Somehow aware. How the fuck and why the fuck does no one care about how these motherfuckers do this shit?
Drip.
We're
too concerned about our drip and our fucking shit.
But even scientists aren't even concerned about this. They, like you said, they leave it all up to
they're worried about shit,
coincidence.
You know? Exactly, and they're trying to figure out new ways to break the fucking universal law so then they could, you know, make more money. Like it's almost like a huge... I don't know. It's not even a conspiracy. Just like it
just is what it is.
Game. It's a fucking game.
The Mayans called this cycle one great year, with each of its 12 great months requiring 2160 Earth years to complete. And what about this? Did you know that the diameter of our moon, when measured in miles, also happens to total, you guessed it, 2160? Lastly, watch what happens when we apply simple division to this highly synchronous number. 2160 divided by 2 is 1080, the angle sum of the octagon. By 3, 720, the total of the hexagon. By 4, 540, the pentagon. By 5, are you ready? It's the ketone 432. And by 6, 360, the number of both the square and circle. All F sharps and C sharps, with our 432A thrown into the mix, as if it were some kind of clue to solving a cosmic riddle. Maybe we should look at this number even more closely. As we've stated, our closest celestial neighbor, the moon, is 2160 miles across, and 216 is exactly half of 432. What about the other large object in our sky? Were you aware that our sun is 864 miles across?
There you go.
Incredibly, where the moon's base number sequence is half of 432, the sun's number sequence is exactly
double.
Twice.
That's insane.
And the craziest part is like the sun has been smaller and it will get smaller again, or it will get bigger and then it will get smaller. And somehow we're like lucky enough to have been at the sweet spot at the right time when all these like mathematical synchronicities are like linked up in a way that allows for life to be around in this part of the
exactly
like, part of the solar system.
But in quantum physics world, there's infinite amount of worlds and universes, and it only takes a certain amount of the right equation in a universe to produce, you know, a universe that could possibly sustain life. So we're a slight version of the next universe or the next one, but for some, like, you know, there's like only a certain amount of universes that could like supposedly sustain life, which basically makes us like unimportant in a sense.
I
from that
spend
sense, you
all
know,
my time learning about that. That's that and language. I want to learn more about those things. Yes.
Know how many seconds there are in a day? 86,400. Or 43,200 for the 12 hours of day, and 43,200 for the 12 hours of night. Or try this. Take the 360 degrees found in the circular shape of our sun, and moon, and then multiply it by the 12 hours of either day or night. The answer, 4320. Or how about this? What is the only whole number that when squared comes to within 0.01% accuracy to measuring the speed of light? 432. What is going on here? We have all these different things: Earth cycles, time and celestial measurements, geometry, sonic frequency, yet they are all represented by the same numbers over and over again. To answer that, we must search for the factor common to all of them, and that common factor is the 5,000-year-old Sumerian 1260 counting system. It is what gave us the inches to a foot, the seconds to a minute, and the 360 degrees in geometry. It's almost as if the sky god visitors, who the Sumerians called the Anunnaki, provided humanity with a counting system that would lead to the discovery of these synchronicities. Could it be that the number 432 really is some kind of cosmic key that unlocks a language of higher understanding? And if so, have these sky visitors ever been back to make sure we don't miss the importance of the 432 matrix? One possible answer can be found in the story of a man named George Van Tassel, a respected aeronautical engineer who believed he was contacted by extraterrestrial beings in the early 1950s. During this encounter, Van Tassel said he was provided with a mathematical formula that could be used for everything from time travel to sound frequency healing, and which he used to build the world-famous Integratron near Joshua Tree, California. What is this formula? It is F equals 1 over T, or frequency equals one particular something divided by the number of time. Well, what if that one something was the biggest one on our planet, the one great year of 25,920 discovered by the Mayans? And what if the number for time was the most logical choice of 60? Suddenly, this mysterious equation is expressed as frequency equals 25,920 divided by 60. Are you ready for the answer?
432.
Not only the frequency that instruments all of the world have been tuned to for thousands of years, but also the number that reveals the synchronistic nature of life on this planet. Noticing all these coincidences revealed by the 432 matrix and the Sumerian counting system, we must wonder if other ancient cultures were aware of them as well.
Egypt.
Just scratching the surface, it would seem that they were. For example, let's take the Sumerian 12 and square it for a total of 144. Right off, we see that it is indeed a number and tone contained within our factor 9 grid. Expanding outward, we find 1440, then 144,000, which is a number that appears all over the world in the most compelling of ways. Take, for instance, the Great Pyramid of Giza. It happens to have been covered with 144,000 smooth white casing stones. To ancient Mayans, 144,000 days was the length of their 394-year back tomb, a time cycle which has just begun again. In the Bible, we read that there will be 144,000 chosen ones redeemed from the earth prior to the apocalypse. Obviously, number sequences like these have been significant to many different cultures and religious sects, and to one enigmatic group in particular, the Freemasons. Were the earliest Masons, the supposed keepers of sacred information, also aware of the factor 9 grid, the 432 key, and the number 144,000? Their infatuation with
This edit that the edit that they do is also trippy. Like, this shit really like matches what he's talking about. It's crazy. It like keeps you engaged in what he's saying rather than him just talking and like the screen being nothing, you know, or like a podcast where he's just sitting there saying it.
He got some editing skills for sure.
He does for sure.
3 and 13 might be telling. For instance, if you divide 144,000 by 432, the answer is 333.3 into infinity. Or take a look at the back of a dollar bill. That famous unfinished pyramid could be revealing some interesting clues. For instance, there are 13 steps climbing the pyramid, and 13 times 3.
13 colonies.
432.9. Even the shape of the flat-topped pyramid appears to be made as if someone had drawn 4 dots in a line, then 3 above it, then 2 above that, and then connected those dots to reveal this iconic shape. And of course, let's not forget that the square root of our all-important factor 9 grid is 3 threes. Who else knew about 432? That answer is surprising. In India, large cycles of time are called Kali Yugas, and each one is 432,000 years long. In fact, the number 432 appears so often in sacred structures and myths, from Stonehenge to the pyramids, that author Joseph Campbell could not help but see it as the most important mythological number in history. So what do we have here? What is it that's trying to be expressed by all of these coincidences? One answer is that over the course of history, we have been somehow guided toward both the subconscious creation and eventual conscious recognition of a grand pattern based on frequency, mathematics, time, space, and geometry. Quite possibly, these synchronistic numbers, shapes, and tones represent the building blocks of a language that we do not yet fully understand, but could turn out to be the most important language we will ever learn. How will we use it? Who will we be conversing with? Time will tell. Thousands of years ago, from locations all over the globe, various prophets, shamans, and seers described an era when humanity would make some kind of cosmic leap into a next level of consciousness. Here, at the dawning of the age of Aquarius and the start of a new Mayan Baptune cycle, maybe it's happening.
Fucking crazy.
Tesla, exactly.
It doesn't say that it's over. Let me see what's good real quick. I think it is over though.
Probably just like credits or something.
That's like 13 minutes of credits.
And quotes. Yep.
Oh.
Credits.
Lots of credits. Outer space. Wow. Well, I'm happy that it wasn't 30 minutes. I'm glad
That
it
works.
was a little shorter. Let me stop the screen recording real quick. Just make it a little simpler on the computer. All right, so how did you feel about that video?
Yeah, very, very sick. I mean, like I said, it was just like a more confirming and very informative, fucking crazy, dude. Like, but people don't give a fuck, so, you know.
We give a fuck, though.
Yep.
I wish I could watch.
I know I give a fuck. I mean, I know we give a fuck, you know, but, like, really, no one. I just be, sometimes I just get lost in the internet and just be looking at people's comments and stuff, and the things people come up with
people say, bro,
are fucking nutty. So, like that, this is all cool. I mean, this is the best thing for us to be, you know, researching. But like when we like what we said like a couple podcasts ago, it always comes down to helping each other, and you know, the real things that physically like are here that we can actually like prove to the everyday person, because this is what will change the world, you know. But at the same time, people won't believe it until it's
they have
physical.
to have their own experience.
Physical, like yeah, exactly. Physical, or like it has to be in their brain implanted, because they won't believe it. If not, it's all fucking magic or some shit, a coincidence.
I wonder what produces the type of mindset that one has to have in order to like understand how important that shit is.
Mm-hmm.
Like something happened to my mind, something happened to your mind. What was that something? How do we recreate that in other people? And that's probably like the golden ticket to everything. Probably the thing that people want to be hidden.
But a lot of psychedelics don't open people's mind. They get more
crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, it's like closed-minded.
But it's almost like if you could police the mindset of every person that went into their psychedelic experience, you could probably control those factors. Because like open-minded people going into a psychedelic experience would never have that happen. It's the people that have that little bit of worry in the back of their mind, or like have they have like an idea of how they think it's going to go before they even jump in, you know?
Exactly.
Or like, what is schizophrenia? What is it for real? You know? I don't know.
Or mental retardation, or fucking Down syndrome, fucking Tourette's, you know, all that stuff that comes from somewhere that you can't even explain, except for high abundances of certain chemicals in your brain, you know, that release these certain hormones that make you fucking blurt out curse words at 3 years old that you've never heard before. Like, mind blown, you know? Like,
when you in my face, I'm not here trying to make a friend. I'd rather post at the crib and get paid. I'm not trying to get faded, unless you got dropped, but I know that you don't. No, we're not related. So I don't know why you keep calling me bro. Yeah, I stick with the squad like Gorilla Glue. You should stay on your job, you got shit to do. Or maybe you don't, it's a principle. Ironic, I never did shit in school, but now it's all numbers like coding. Prescription is coding. I said that I quit.